Hi guys, my name is Raghav Gupta. Firstly, it's truly an honor for me to speak in front of the people who have actually built the analytics industry in India and have also built the analytics job market in India and are also playing a very big role in building the ecosystem for artificial intelligence in India. Today, I'm going to talk about the impact of artificial intelligence, AI, on the job market. I will give a very top level view. I will not get too much into the technicalities because I think you guys know better about it than me. I will give a very top level view according to what I have seen in the market, what the young Gen Z have been talking about, and trying to give it in more of a narrative way. So let's start with a simple statistic. According to PwC, AI in the next 5 years is going to eliminate 1.8 million jobs. At the same time, it's going to create more than 2.3 million jobs. Now, these are two buckets. And I'm sure to a lot of leaders sitting here, a lot of people, right? A lot of your colleagues, a lot of your relatives, a lot of young folks, a lot of experienced folks ask you, does this mean my job is at risk? And I think that's a question all of us have faced, and we might also be dwindling ourselves. And to be very honest, there is no right answer to it. There is no concrete answer to saying whether a person's whole job will be automated or disrupted by AI. But one thing is for sure, anything that is redundant or repetitive will definitely be disrupted by AI. Now, any of the people who you think fall in that bucket, I believe you have told them that they need to up their game. Now, let's take a simple use case, right? Very simple use case of marketing. If you had to ask me, how do I broaden marketing, how do I break it down? For me, it is two things. First is performance marketing. The other is branding, PR, content, whatever you want to call it. From a performance marketing viewpoint, all of us have seen in the last few years, a lot of tools, a lot of social media giants have created campaigns, have created tools, mechanisms of automating your campaign, making it more optimized. Obviously, there is a missing layer of buyer intent that is required, but as we are going forward, we are seeing buyer intent also being automated, being driven by AI. On the other side, when it comes to content branding, I think all of us, before me also, as people were talking about ChatGPT, GPT-3, we are all seeing a massive shift happening towards conversational, towards predictive models. Now, one thing is for a fact, right? The jobs of content writers, journalists will definitely not increase. Now, they might not decrease dramatically, but they will definitely not increase. So for people starting in new careers, this becomes a very interesting point to look at. Like, I'll just give you a funny example, right? On 10th of Feb, this was Teddy Day, and my team played a prank with me. So they ghost gifted me a teddy along with this note that you see on your screen. Now, when I was reading that note, the kind of emotions on that note, the kind of flow of that note, the build-up of that note made me actually question, do I have a secret admirer or not? And obviously, as you guys can see, it was written by ChatGPT. So what I'm trying to say is that the emotional aspect, the human aspect is now being seen across multiple use cases, and obviously ChatGPT is something that all of us in this room have experienced. Now, I will not get too much on the part about what AI will take over because I honestly don't know myself. But I will talk about some of the jobs that I believe AI is going to create. Some of the jobs that in the 5 to 7 year horizon, out of the 2.3 million jobs, I believe are going to exist. Now, as we all know, AI is built on data, right? And data, when you think of data, the first thing that is coming to all of our minds is data privacy. Be it Cambridge Analytica, be it Pegasus, everyone across the socio-political arena has been talking about data privacy. So now this is where a new job emerges of a AI data privacy specialist. This individual's role would be to marry legalities, would be to marry regulation, would be to marry human interaction as well as technology, to come up with new strategies as well as operation around the use of data as well as protecting the privacy of the end consumer. Another job that we believe can emerge is of an AI algorithm model improvement specialist or an AI model trainer. Now, as we all know, right, all of these models that are being emerged, they are run on a feedback loop. So the kind of feedback that you give them, that's how they evolve, that's how they come back to you. So a job of an AI model trainer would be to make these sophisticated systems more effective, more targeted, more focused to what the end consumer actually wants out of them, not what the overall data is imputing. Another very important thing that all of us will definitely agree is the governance and the monitoring part behind data. As we all know, right, like whenever you think of AI, there is a question people ask, and all the detractors of AI ask, what about the bias with AI? As these AI is built on data inputs, there can be bias in the inputs of that data. At the same time, there can definitely be bias in the output that is generated from this AI. Now, the job of an AI ethicist will be to not just balance the moral part of it, but will also be to balance the biases that are there in the input criteria as well as the output criteria to make sure the outputs that are being generated are free and fair. Now, all of you here are working in teams. And in your teams, you would say there is one person who you have a very smooth, very fluid relationship with, right? And there will be another person in the same team who you will not see eye to eye. There will be some level of friction. Now, that's going to happen same with between AI and human beings. As AI and human beings interact, what we will see is there will be a new job emerging. That job will be of an AI-human interaction designer, whose job will be to make the flow of communication, flow of information, flow of outputs more smoother, make it more focused, to ensure that the conversation between the AI and the human being is as productive, as efficient as possible. Now, I think finally, one thing we all know, automation engineers. AI was built on automation, and automation is happening across sectors. Automation engineers is something that has been in the space for more than a decade, if not more. And one thing is for a fact that it is going to increase further. It is going to become more and more specialized. Now, one thing that all of us understand here is that these are some of the jobs that I talked about. This is not covering all the 2.3 million jobs. But there is one common link for all the people who are in that 1.8 million bracket that are going to be eliminated to safeguard themselves. And that is upskilling. And that was the fulcrum behind why we created Futurense. Because what we realized was that people sitting in this room, most of us are now privileged. We know how the tech is evolving, we will upskill. But if we truly want to make India the next global power, if we truly want to make India the source of AI innovation and not just a back office, there needs to be a thing from within where we promote upskilling across the country, not just for ourselves. So upskilling is going to be the fulcrum, is going to be the essence behind how India can play a bigger role in the AI innovation, can play a bigger role, can get a bigger subset of the 2.3 million jobs that are being created. Now, by the upskilling, I don't just mean technical skills. Obviously, as you understand, there are more human aspects to it. If I talk about soft skills, it can be broken into multiple pieces. If I talk about psychology, I believe one thing that we as humans have is having that mind frame, which is still going to take time for AI to evolve on that. I don't know ever if it will be. So connecting the dots between the technical skills as well as the human skills is going to be extremely critical. Now, I would like to conclude by saying just one simple thing, right? In 1970s, when computers came, people were scared. There were a lot of revolts. lot of people boycotted them. Everyone was saying that they will take over all the jobs. Then in 1990s, when e-commerce emerged, when websites emerged, there was a question on retail. There was a question on what will happen to brick and mortar. But now all of us sitting here are actually a product of jobs that were created using internet, using computers, using e-commerce, or a subset of that. So whenever anyone thinks of what will happen to their job when AI is coming, for anyone who has seen this path, who has seen this journey, all they tell these people is that they have been there, they have done that. If you are open to evolve, if you are open to unlearning, relearning, I think as everyone said, AI is going to be a tool, AI is going to be an accelerator in our journey. Thank you so much.